today I'm going to give you an update on the ESG, my environmentally ethical friendly portfolio that I am building on eToro. So I have been building this for I think I started this back in April, so it's been a few months now. And what I'm doing is every month I am adding a new eco-friendly, ethical stock pick to my portfolio. And I'm doing this so that I can learn more about how to choose particular companies. I can learn more about their ethical credentials. And for me, it's just an exciting way to trial out a new platform, and I quite enjoy investing too. So welcome to the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube channel. My name is Charlotte Jessup. And first up, I just want to say a big thank you. This is my first video since passing 1,000 subscribers on this channel. So a big thank you to everybody that is watching. It's really appreciated. And if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you go ahead and do so now. So I talk about everything personal finance. So this is saving money, making money, budgeting, investing, pensions, and anything else that falls under the scope of financial education. So I started this ESG, so environmental, social and governance portfolio, because I wanted to do some good with my money, and I also wanted to learn more about how the stock market works. So typically I do not pick individual companies. The majority of my investments go into tracker funds, okay? So this means that I'm investing in a whole load of companies as cheaply as possible, so I'm spreading out my risk. But I wanted to learn more about the process of maybe understanding more about companies and what they are doing to maybe help or not help the planet. So this was a real interesting project for me. And like I say, there were 3 other episodes of this. I have picked 3 stocks already and I will review those in just a minute. Now, before I talk any further, I just want to put a disclaimer. This is financial education. It's financial entertainment. It's just me talking through my experiences and what I am doing around this particular portfolio. It is not financial advice. If you want to learn more about investing for your personal situation, then speak to a financial advisor. You need to remember with investing as well that your money can go down as well as up. So make sure that you understand the risks before you take that step. So let's start off with a review of my current portfolio. So like I say, I have 3 stocks already. So I have, the first one I picked was Adobe, and then I picked the European Coca-Cola bottling plant, and then I went back to kind of tech stocks and picked Nvidia. So I have been, picking companies that I think have a promising future, but also, they're doing good things for the planet, or more accurately, and I will touch on this later in the video, that they are not doing bad things, or they're not too bad for the planet. So there is kind of a bit of a distinction here that I'm going to cover later in the video, and it has influenced my next stock pick. So let's just see how these companies have been doing over the last month since we last checked in on this. Okay, so that first one that I picked then, we had Adobe. Now Adobe is doing really, really well. I'm up nearly 26% on this stock so far. So I'm putting $50 into each of these stock picks. So once a month I put $50 in, and as you can see, I'm nearly at $63 on that particular stock. And so I got this one back in, I think it was mid-April. So it's been a little while, but it is doing really well. So I'm super happy with that one. Now the next one, so I think this was actually the most recent one that I picked, was Nvidia. So this one was down for a while. They did a stock split, and I talked about this in my last video. And it was a bit turbulent for a while, but it now seems that they're up. And they're up by a couple of percent, which is good news. Like I say, I'm in this for the long term, so I'm not too worried about the kind of ups and downs along the way. But it is good to see them in the green for now. We've also then got that Coca-Cola bottling plant. Now I think in the last video when I checked out on this was actually doing a little bit better. So they've probably taken a bit of a nosedive, and there was some recent news about how, Coca-Cola is maybe one of the biggest contributors to plastic pollution worldwide. So maybe that is one of the reasons they've taken a hit. But I know that this particular branch is doing good things. They're building in recycling and developing their own systems for taking some of the, plastics out of the environment and recycling them, turn them into new things. So I'm still quite confident that this is going to turn around and we will see a better return on that in the future. I'm doing it for the long term, so it's probably going to be like 5-10 years before I think about doing anything with these particular stocks. So overall, the stocks I picked so far are doing okay. I am making money, and they're still good companies. As far as I'm aware, there haven't been any real scandals about them. So I'm happy to keep my money invested in these companies for now. So another thing I just wanted to mention in this video. So I've said that I have other investments. So these are largely in my stocks and shares ISA, which I have through Vanguard. There's a company, there's a platform that works for me. And I had been investing in non-eco-friendly, ESG funds through them. Now, I'd made a bit of a decision a few months ago that I was going to, make the move over, but I had kept my investments from before and was just putting new investments into ESG funds. Now, in the last sort of month or so, I have made the switch and I have moved all of my investments, so even the old ones are now in ESG funds, and I've also moved things like pensions into those as well. I have gone from having, somebody who was just investing purely for financial gain into somebody who was investing ethically, and I genuinely feel like I'm in a good place with that now. So there has been, it's not just this portfolio that I'm doing. All of my investments now are environmentally friendly to the best of my knowledge, the best that I can do. So I'm happy to report that in this video as well. Second part of this video, I just want to talk about my tactics. So previously I've been picking stocks, and like I hinted at earlier, these were just companies that weren't doing bad things. So they weren't necessarily making a hugely conscious effort to be good in the world. They were either just trying to limit the damage that they did, or just by the sheer nature of the product. So like Adobe's a digital product, doesn't hugely impact on the world. There's no plastic pollution or anything like this. They weren't too bad, essentially. So I was kind of looking at these stocks that were, they were okay. They weren't bad, but they were okay. So I'm kind of thinking that I want to switch up that tactic this week. And instead of just thinking about not investing badly, I want to actually see my money do something positive. So I decided that this week, rather than just picking a not too bad stock, I wanted to invest in something that actually did some good in the world. And one particular sector that I've been hearing a lot about is clean energy. These are these companies that are producing like renewable energy sources, or are involved in the production of, components, or, producing this energy in some way. So I thought this seemed like a good place to actually put my money, so it was being proactive rather than just neutral. Okay, so this is the sector that I was looking at. So I did some research in this, and I actually spent a little bit of time looking at some of the figures as well. Now, obviously, this still, I don't know how, because, I was learning about renewable energy like 30 years ago at school, but this still feels like a new sector for some reason. And actually, it can be quite volatile. It can be a little bit bumpy and up and down. So if you look back at the history of some of these clean energy companies, financially, they've been a bit up and down. But I think the long term, and this is purely, my speculation, based on a few whispers that I've heard on the internet, is that this should be a huge industry in the future. We are going to need clean energy to keep this planet going. So this should be a good place to put my money, not only from a financial standpoint, but also from an environmental standpoint. I want to be part of the picture of the future. So this is one way that I'm going to do that. So let's introduce you to my new stock then. So the company that I've gone for today is a company called First Solar. So as the name suggests, they were involved in solar energy, and they're an electrical technology company. So they make some of the parts that convert solar energy into consumable energy that we use in our households. Now, like I say, the kind of looking back at the history of this company, the charts are a bit sort of lumpy and bumpy. So it's not at its peak at the moment. It went down a bit kind of earlier in this year, and we're kind of on the way back up. But like I say, I'm looking towards the long-term future of this particular sector. And I genuinely believe that this is going to be a huge area of growth over the next sort of 10, 15, 20 plus years. So I believe that putting my money in this should see me a good return in the long term, not necessarily in the short term. And like I say, this is a company that is creating something that has a positive impact in the world. So for me to be able to invest in this company means that I am supporting them in doing better things for our planet. And that feels really good for me. And I think it's part of the missing link in this portfolio so far. I know we're only a few companies in, but it felt a lot like I was just choosing okay companies. So it feels really good to be choosing a company that's actually part of the solution rather than just not part of the problem. So really, really grateful to have, taken this route in choosing this stock. So let's go ahead. So like I say, I'm building this portfolio on eToro, and I just wanted to say that eToro have recently reduced the minimum deposits that you need to put in. Previously it was like $200, which is what I put in, and I've just been kind of investing that over the last 4 months. But now the minimum has dropped to $50 here in the UK. So yeah, just make sure that you have a look into this platform. I like it. It's a great way to buy stocks. Please do check out my other videos so you can understand how to make purchases on those. But this is the platform that I am using for these investments. So let's go ahead and do that then. So I'm going to search for First Solar, and as you can see, it comes up there. You've got a few charts and bits and pieces that you can sort of scroll through if you want further information about the companies. So whatever company you're picking, you can have a look there. In this example, because I'm picking First Solar, I'm having a look at those. I'm going to go ahead and make that trade. And the thing that I am looking for here is that it says that I am buying that underlying asset. Okay, anything else puts you at a greater risk, and this is where you can really lose some serious money. So make sure that if you want to buy that stock, you are buying the underlying asset. So I'm putting $50 into this. I'm going to go ahead and set that order. The market's not open for this one at the moment, so I'm just going to have to wait until that market opens. But that is done, and it is there in my portfolio and waiting for me. So that's it. That's my update on my ESG portfolio that I'm building with eToro, and I really like the direction this is going in, and also I'm thrilled with the financial returns on this. If you want to learn more about ethical investing, then please do check out some of my other videos, and also join me on my other social media channels. This is a topic that I'm passionate about and I talk about a lot on Instagram, on TikTok, on Facebook, so please do go and visit me there. A big thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. Leave me a comment if you have any suggestions for companies that you think that I should be looking into as part of this portfolio. And don't forget, you can join the other 1,000 people that are subscribed to this channel just by clicking that little button below. It would be great to have you as part of the Looking After Your Pennies YouTube community. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.